All right, we're back with our next installment of the Latin Breed one-on-one sessions. This is the series that we're creating, get you guys know a little bit better information and stories about the band. You know, kind of an inside scoop on the guys and kind of what we do with the Latin Breed. So today we are lucky to have Mr. Frank Perez, one of the originals, one of the OGs we call him, with the
Mm.
Latin Breed. So how you doing, Frank?
Oh, great, great.
I see.
See you, Ben. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know, right? I was gonna say it's been a while since we've been like personally interacting, but now this is the new norm with the Zoom meetings and all that good stuff. But as you can see, Frank's already up on it because he's got his nice Latin Breed background in the back, and he's ready to rock and roll. So he's ready to be a YouTuber now.
Yeah, this is my first Zoom that I've ever done. I might as well go back to school.
There you go. Hey, everybody remembers their first time. So here we go. All right. Well, let's like I said, let's get into it. So what we've done here is kind of like I said, just set aside some time to talk a little bit about you personally, and like I said, we'll let the fans get a little bit to know about you and kind of what your beginnings are and where you started with all this. So tell me a little bit about yourself. We could start off with kind of what you do in the band and maybe a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
Well, I play trumpet in the band like Steve, and I try to get into other things too, like writing the music out, which is something I like to do. And that started because none of the guys could remember their music, at least the horn players. We would rehearse, and we would get the music down. It sounded great, and then the next day everybody forgot the music. What was I playing yesterday? So I started writing it down, and I really got into that. I learned a lot, and I still like to do it up to this day. Now I'm doing it for other bands also.
Yeah.
And but yeah, as far as this band, yeah, Charlie calls me the librarian of the band, and so I carry all the books.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna tell the fans that that if they've seen the movies, The Lord of the Rings, Frank's like the Lord of the music because he keeps all the books. He's the Lord of the books.
Yeah,
He's got the Latin breed treasure chest that he carries around
the
with
guard
all
dog, yeah.
the time.
I
Well,
just
that's
want
good.
to.
So you said you got into arranging because I know, like I said, you've done a lot of arranging over the years. I know that we always kind of comment on that on stage that you do a lot of our arrangements, obviously, but I think you've done quite a bit too, just in the Tejano world overall, right? You've done a lot of arranging over the years.
Well, yeah, I started doing that orchestrating. I did that for the Tejano Awards for many years. I missed it too about the first 2-3 years of the Tejano Awards, but then after that, it took off for about probably another 15 years.
Yeah,
Between Donald and I, we were getting all the musicians together for the orchestra, and we were writing out the arrangements and putting on the show.
yeah,
And I got used to that, and that put me through. That was boot camp, and then so then when I started doing it for just bands one at a time, it was like kindergarten. After that, I started doing it real easy,
yeah,
and I still do it to this day. And I got to work with a lot of good guys, especially like Steve. Steve came in after Donald, quit for a little bit. We all quit once in a while in the Latin breed, but we all just come back. And that, that's about it, man.
I think a lot of people, the neat part, I know something that I always thought was real cool when I first joined the band and started hearing all you guys' stories and kind of your backgrounds. And a lot of people may or may not know that the Latin breed has a very storied past with the Tejano Music Awards because, of course, from the involvement and the inception, of course, a lot of the Latin breed members were founders and a lot of you guys were, like you said, were part of just the orchestra band that was always backing up everybody. And I know, like, again, when we've done quite a few shows where we throw in some cover tunes and we have Frank has a ton of music for every single artist you can think of, the horn charts and all the parts and everything. And a lot of it, again, like you said, because you did a lot of that past work already through all those years with the Tejano Music Awards and those orchestra shows that they would put on. You guys were always a part of that, which is, to me, is always real neat.
Yeah, I got used to writing all the music for all the different brands, all the different Tejano artists, and so I got used to it. And then when there was a need to do that, just to go do gigs, with other bands, the music was there, and it made it real easy to go out and do these gigs. So, you know, as well as make some money. And, but I credit that to Gibby Escobedo.
Yeah.
Yes, if it wasn't for him, none of this wouldn't have happened. And he got the ball rolling as far as the Tejano Awards, and then he got us all involved with it, and it just grew. You know, I one of my favorite things was to walk into the, you know, the Alamo Dome and see it packed. I never thought we could get that many Mexicans in there, and we packed it up. You know,
Yeah.
and it was something really huge.
Yeah.
I miss those days, you know, and I remember getting all the orchestra members together. Every year we'd pick different musicians. Everybody wanted to be involved. You know, I was getting calls, hey, let me play with your orchestra. And and we'd be, you know, we'd vet everybody out, make sure they can show up for rehearsals and show up for the gigs and stuff like that, and as well as play the charts.
Yeah.
Because some of those charts were kind of demanding, you know.
I think the cool part about is like I said, you know, everybody knows kind of the basic history of the Latin breed and all the you know all the different vocalists that have come through and all the different hits you guys have had. But again, to get in deep into the history of all of you guys, I mean, you guys have so many roots in this kind of overall Tejano picture, right? Where it's to me, it's like one of those things where, like, you know, if you were to look at a tree, the Latin breed is definitely part of that trunk of the tree of Tejano music, because there's so many branches that have spawned off of you guys, just both, you know, musician wise, as well as, like I said, all the way up to the Tejano Music Awards and all the effort and different pieces that you guys were involved in that piece. So you know, it's an honor, you know, and I'm pretty sure you know, you've heard of, you know, myself and Steve and Stanley, some of the guys that have come later on, you know, down the road, where it's an honor to play with you guys, because you guys are definitely legends, you know, in your own time. So again, I give
Well,
you
I
guys.
gotta say that sometimes I feel like the new guy, because by the time I got in the band, which was in, I guess, the latter part of 1975, some of the Latin breed hits were already recorded, like Todos Dicen and Camino
Yeah,
los Ojos Negros and all those stuff. Usted, those were already down and recorded and were hitting already.
yeah,
And uh, and then I came in back in 75, and we started doing memories and all those songs, you know, Mambo, and
yeah,
um, it took off from there. I mean, and yeah, and I recorded on about, I don't know, about 6 albums, I guess.
yeah.
And
I would say probably, if you know, for those of fans that actually still have either the album covers or the CD covers, Frank is probably one that you'll probably see on the majority of all of them, because I know as I was going through the catalog when I was learning songs, I would always see Frank. Frank was always on all of them. That's
yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
cool. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself personally. It's like, how did you get started playing trumpet, or do you play any other instruments also? Or
Well, the usual way through school, and then after that, I was playing with some local bands, garage bands and stuff around here. And then one day, Joe Bravo lost his band. That was back in '72, and he needed a new band, and we were just sitting at home, and then so he asked if we would back him up, and that's where it took off. For another 2 years, we backed up Joe Bravo, and after that, you know, we went on the road. We went everywhere, all the way to Chicago and stuff. And that's when I really got to know what it was like to be on the road with a band, and discovered all these other bands that were on the road too, like Sonny Ozuna and Little Joe and Augustine Ramirez, and one day, 2 years later, Sonny lost his band. His band went on to be the Latin Breed with Jimmy Edwards, and at that time I went in and started playing with Sonny Ozuna, and I did that for about a year and a half, I guess. And then that's when Donald decided to make a change, Donald Garza. And they asked me if I wanted to try out. So heck yeah, I mean, I wanted to, because they had some nice music. So, and I had just gotten married, and I was living right across the street from Kennedy High School. And Latin Breed was going to be playing there for the students. And so my wife and I, we walked across the street to go hear the Latin Breed. And they played on stage there in the assembly, you know, and man, I was blown away. They started out with Dance to My Mambo. And the PA systems are at schools, right?
Yeah.
So, but they probably have around 3 microphones at the most. So what the horn section did is they formed a semicircle around Jimmy, and that's the way they did the little concert there, and it sounded awesome. I was blown away. I was like, "What? I'm gonna join this band!" And then I started practicing and practicing. And I got into the band, and about a week later, we recorded that album, the Memories album,
Oh, cool.
and wow,
Yeah.
we just took off from there, and then we had many good years.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
guys, like I said, I mean,
pretty much,
it's from the 70s. Those are nostalgic hits that just will never die. And that's what's cool to me is that, you guys, a couple of you guys in particular, I mean, you guys were part of that era. You guys were part of the Breaking the Rules era, because that's a whole different era in itself. And then you're still here, in this new era, and kind of transitioning now into what's going to become the next generation of this Latin breed piece. So that's neat, man. Like I said, that's history in itself, and an accomplishment all of its own, just to be able to still be at the top of your game, for all of those decades. That's something to be said.
well, we've been lucky to always have good singers, between Jimmy and Alberto, and now you, brother, and I hope to have put out some really good hits with you too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I know it's you mentioned when you first heard the band and you heard them, and then you thought, oh man, I'm gonna join this band. I think probably everybody who's joined the Latin Breed at one point or another has had that same feeling, because I remember when I came to audition with you guys, and the first time I heard you guys play, I was like, oh wow, that sounds like just like the albums that I hear. I mean, you guys actually sound like that in person, and I thought, wow, that's just the sound that you guys put out is just it's phenomenal. And so yeah, so it's daunting, because and I'm sure, like you said, when you were joining, you kind of feel like always kind of like the new guy, because they already had previous hits. And so same thing, as a singer, I kind of feel the same way. It's like I always have big shoes to fill when I'm singing Jimmy's songs. I'm singing the songs that Jay recorded. I'm singing the songs that Alberto had already done, and I try to give it my best, so that way the fans can walk away with oh yeah, that sounds like the Latin Breed, not like oh yeah, it sounds like some guy trying to sound like the Latin Breed. you know so I think we got a good thing going, because we've gotten a lot of good feedback, hopefully, and I'm excited to be working on some new material. I'm excited to re-record some of the older tunes that you guys have, and so I know we have just plans to do a lot of that stuff in these next couple of years, and so it's going to be fun. And like I said, I'm definitely glad that you guys are all still here to participate. And like I said, to me, it just makes it very special. So I know, like I said, we're talking a little bit about your background, and man, you've been all over when it comes to Tejano. Have you ever done anything outside of like the Tejano world? Any mainstream English music, that kind of stuff, recordings or otherwise? Or
Recording wise, no. Although I was very proud of the songs that we did do on the Breaking the Rules album
yeah.
that were arranged by Bob Gallarza.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name, and those songs, those were great. And wow, Bob really made it sound, like an English band,
Yeah.
And now, but other than that, now I've been a polquero all my life, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just doing that.
Well, that's
And
cool. That's cool. All right. Well, let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the quarantine, which has brought us to this virtual interview and discussions that we have. Anytime we get to meet with the band now, it's always over Zoom and phone and all that kind of stuff. So, what have you been doing during the quarantine? What do you, like personally there at home? We haven't been playing or anything, so a lot of us have a lot of time on our hands now, because we were gigging every weekend.
well, like you, I've been working on my house.
Yeah.
Man, this house has really changed. Well, I used to be a carpenter, and
Yeah.
also I worked for a cabinet company installing cabinets and stuff like that, and so I kind of know what the hell I'm doing. And so I started working on my house. I had nothing else to do, and so far the house has really changed a lot. And so once in a while, my sons will come and help me whenever they can. I've got 2 boys, but they're pretty busy. One's a sheriff, deputy sheriff, and the other one works for USAA, Victory Capital, and so does my wife. She works at USAA too, so they're all pretty busy. But now my wife's working from home, because of the COVID.
Yeah.
And so we're here in our house hiding away from that monster.
Yeah, like everybody, like all of us.
And then I also decided to uh, get interested in politics, I should never have done that because I picked a side and then they didn't win, and then now I'm all disappointed, and that disappointment is hard to get rid of, man. But other
Well,
than that,
it's one of those things that it always comes around, right? There's always the next election, they say.
yeah, yeah, and so that's why me and Julian, the keyboard player, we're always getting into it, 'cause
Yeah, you guys
we
get into
like the opposite side.
some pretty fun talks on the way to the gigs. But that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, that's cool. Well, it sounds like, at least you keep yourself busy. I'm sure your wife's happy with all the carpentry that's going on at the house and all those nice renovations and fresh
Yeah,
paint, all that good stuff that goes along with the honey-do list.
I got to say, I'm really sad for all the musician friends that we've lost. I hope we don't lose any more.
Yeah,
And I hope these guys just be very careful so we won't lose any more.
yeah, yeah. Definitely an important message right now. I know the vaccines are coming and everybody's getting kind of antsy, and we still see events. I know when I talk to our management, and we still talk about kind of like what the plans are and things like that. And I mean, playing right now is just it's not safe. It's right now, and it's not. And really, to be honest with you, it's not really responsible for any of us, the crowd, anybody. So until we get to a point to where everyone's really comfortable and we have some vaccinations, more widespread, and it's just safe to gather like that. We're going to be in this type of scenario for a little bit. So, which was the reason why we started doing some of these videos and really trying to connect with people, virtually. I think, even when we do play, we don't get a chance to kind of sit down and talk to our fans and talk to the crowd like we would like to sometimes, because we're always kind of coming and going and back on the bus, back on the van, that kind of thing, to the next show, or back home. And so these kind of interviews and these kind of just kind of sit downs, they give everybody a good insight, to the guys in the band, and hopefully will be able to connect with us a little bit further. So I'm excited. At least we get to do this.
I'm guilty of that. As soon as the gig's over, I run to the bus or the van or something, But now I'm itching to talk to people. You know what I mean? And now I realize what I've missed.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what
gonna. I'm
that's
not
what
gonna.
Steve was mentioning too. That I think when we all get back to it, there'll be just a little bit better appreciation both on our side and on the fan side, right? Just to get out and actually interact with people, because we've been stuck in the house at this point,
Yeah.
kind of not been able to. So, well, how
Yeah.
about once it's all over? Anything in particular that you're looking forward to getting back to? Again, like I said, I know you mentioned you've pretty much been quarantined in the house and doing stuff around the house, but what are you looking forward to get back to once everything kind of gets back to normal?
Well, yeah. The first thing is gigs. I want to get out there and start playing. I
Yeah.
really miss that. I also do mariachi gigs when
Mm,
we're at home.
yeah.
And I really love that too. I got I got some guys in the neighborhood that are mariachis, and I play with them once in a while.
Well, that's cool.
And then another thing too is I want to go fishing with my boys and my grandkids, and that's what I miss the most.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that personal time that you have with your family, that's I know that's got to be itching for everybody, just because all that stuff we just take for granted, because you could just kind of do it whenever, or all the time. And so now when anything's taken away from you like that, it gives you a deeper appreciation when you get back to it. So yeah, I'm the same way. Everybody's itching to get back to playing, but also itching to get back to just kind of a normal of being able to go and see people and hang out with folks, go to dinner normal without having to kind of be so covered up and all this other stuff. So I think everybody's feeling the same way on that one. Well, like I
Yeah,
said, oh, go ahead.
when we see each other again, we're not going to recognize each other, man. We're all going to be all viejitos and white haired and pantones and everything.
I know, long hair, long beards. We're gonna look. It's gonna look like back in the
Some of
70s.
us are.
We're gonna look like a what do you call it? The ZZ Top crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know we were talking, like I said, about the quarantine, and another thing I like to share with the folks is stories. I think part of this little series here, the cool part about it is it gives them an insight to kind of like the conversations that we get into when we're on the way to the gigs and that kind of stuff. So I was asking Steve, and of course we'll ask all the guys, but do you have one kind of memory or a couple, if you want to share, just memorable moments with the Latin breed that kind of always stick out in your head? And it could be a funny story, it could be a sentimental story, or something you're real proud of. but you probably, you know, more than all of us, I'm sure you have quite a few of them. But is there any few that kind of stick out in your head?
Well, you're right about being in the van on the way to the gig and on the way back. Those were the best times, you know, because that's when I remember when I first got into the Latin Breed and I was all scared and quiet, you know, I'd be in the van and Jimmy Edwards would be sitting next to me, and Jimmy, man, God, he had a ton of elephant jokes. And I had never heard him, and he was there, and you know, just telling one elephant joke after another, and I was just, you know, falling down on the floor and then laughing my butt off. And all the guys were looking at me, and Jimmy goes, "Ah, new meat," you know.
Never heard of.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that. I mean, we were always, it was nothing but laughs on the way home all the time. And man, we did a lot of huge gigs. And I remember the time we played at the Hollywood Palladium, and I thought, we've made it. We've made it. And so we go in and we do our gig. We get up on stage, we start playing, and we're playing. The band is hot, and the floor was, you know, packed, and everybody was just standing and staring at us. Nobody clapping, nobody dancing. And we were just like, what the heck, man? And we finally did our last song, and as soon as we got off the stage, Los Tigres del Norte got on stage, and then the crowd went wild. They just started dancing and dancing. Well, okay, that's not our crowd.
Not the crowd for you guys.
And but I don't know. That's the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah, definitely
You know,
memorable.
Mojara was out there. And,
That's funny. That's
yeah,
cool.
but there's been so many gigs with the Latin Breed where we just thought, oh, this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate. But there's always the next one.
Yeah, there's always more to come. That's the cool part.
Especially when the band is always putting on a good show. It's gotten to the point now, we've been together for so long, we've gelled together, the chemistry's so good that we get on, you know, we hardly ever practice, and you know that, and we get up there and we still do a good gig, you know.
Yeah.
But it's because we all know each other so well. You know, this is our a second family, and this is the hard part of the COVID, is that you don't get to see your second family, and that's kind of rough. It is for me, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Selfishly, that was kind of the reason why I wanted to kick off some of these series. So I'm thinking, you know what, I haven't seen the guys in quite a bit. We gotta get them on Zoom or something, so that way we can conversate, and you know, I thought, well, what the heck, we can even record it and share it with our fans.
Yeah.
But that's good. Well, cool, man. Like I said, you know, we just wanted to just, you know, take a few moments and kick off, you know, these series with this a little introduction to you guys. As I was mentioning, you know, these are probably things that I'm sure we'll try to keep on going. I think, you know, we're probably going to do one with each of the guys just to kind of get a little background on everybody. And then what I would like to do probably the next go around is we'll probably set up maybe some with a few of you guys, so that way we can have like the horn section, and then I'll have one with the rhythm section, that kind of stuff, because I know that they probably don't know, but I know when you guys get around each other, it's even better. And there's more dialogue, sure. and it truly is like if anybody's like played on teams, you know, it's kind of like offense, defense. It's like, you know, horn section, rhythm section. That's kind of the it's kind of the way it goes. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to witness, and so hopefully we'll be able to capture some of that on here as well too. So maybe next go around we'll have a few of you guys on the same time, and we'll get to kind of just have some dialogue that way.
Okay, great. Be looking forward to it.
Well, like I said, anything else that you want to close with? Anything else you want to share with the folks that are watching?
Other than I miss you guys. I hope to see all you people, all our fans and our friends up there at the dances when we start playing them again. And me myself, I'm going to be working on music, trying to get it ready for our next recordings.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good thing you mentioned that too, because we do have some new music that we'll be working on here coming up. So I encourage everyone, if you're watching this on social media, you know, give us a like, give us a share. We do have some new social media pages. We're on Instagram now. We're on YouTube. Got a brand new website. So we're trying to get into the digital age here, so that way we can share some of the stuff that we have from the past, and then also some of the new stuff that we're working on. So that way, you know, twofold, the fans can kind of just get everything that they're looking for straight from the Latin Breed. So yeah. All right. Well, hey, Frank, like I said, thanks for taking some time out with me. And like I said, we'll look for our next session. Like I said, But we'll see you guys on the next one-on-one session here with the Latin Breed, and we'll see who we bring on next. And hopefully, like I said, you'll get a chance to check everybody out. So with that, we'll see you guys next time. Frank, I'll let you sign off as well too.
All right. See you later, then. Goodbye.